Hey friends, it's Mr. Jim and welcome back to Kid Short Stories. If this is your first time, welcome to the family. We are the podcast that turns your ideas into an amazing adventure every single day. You know, we couldn't even exist without imaginations from kids just like you. So if you have an idea for a story, I'd love to see it. Check down in the show notes below for how you can submit your own story idea, and maybe we'll turn it into an awesome adventure. And parents, if you're new to kids podcasting, I want to challenge you to listen to podcasting for 5 days in a row with your kids. It's going to increase their imagination, decrease screen time, and we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Are you guys ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go! Deep in the forest, a spruce tree sat among a clump of other evergreen trees. The early morning sun was rising, and its first rays touched the spruce, warming its needles. The spruce tree yawned.
Good morning, sun. Good morning, birds.
He shook his branches, and the birds tweeted, flying out of them.
Good morning, Bruce. We'll see you later.
Then the birds disappeared into the forest to find berries and worms.
Time to go on my morning walk,
said Bruce the spruce. The ground beneath him rumbled a bit, giving way to two large roots. He shook the dirt off of them and stepped forward. Holy smokes! A walking tree? Headed right towards the stream.
Good morning, squirrels,
Bruce called out. They chittered back to him.
Good morning. We will come play in your branches later, Bruce. Bye.
He made it to the river and dipped his root feet into the cool running water.
Boy, am I thirsty,
he shouted as he slurped up water through his roots. First to join him at the river was the bear family.
Good morning, Bruce,
Papa Bear called out. Bruce waved his branches.
Hello, I have a bunch of pine cones for you this morning right here.
Baby Bear ran over excitedly and climbed into Bruce's branches, munching on crunchy pine cones. Before the rest of his family could join him, they talked to Bruce about their plans for the day and the things going on in the forest. Then their tone turned serious.
Be careful, Bruce. We saw a person walking through the forest. He was wearing a red plaid shirt. He looked like a lumberjack,
shouted Papa Bear.
A person this deep in the woods?
Asked Bruce skeptically.
Well, I will keep an eye out. Thanks, bears.
The bears waved goodbye to Bruce, and Bruce left the river, headed towards the wildflower field. There he met the deer family, who were waiting for him.
Good morning, Bruce,
called out Mama Deer. Her and her fawn headed over to Bruce's lower branches to eat some pine cones. Baby Deer was crunching and munching her first pine cone when she shouted,
I saw a person today.
Mama Bear suddenly looked very serious and added, Be careful, Bruce. He had a big beard and suspenders on. He looked like a lumberjack. Bruce was still surprised to hear this.
A person this deep in the woods? Are you sure?
Mama Deer nodded. She was very sure. Bruce shrugged. He wasn't worried. The forest was massive, and he'd never seen a human this far out here. The deer family finished eating their pine cones and waved goodbye to Bruce. Bruce continued on his walk, stopping to drop some pine cones off for the bunnies and the birds he saw along the way. Each time they warned him about the lumberjack in the woods, Bruce started to get a bit worried, but he still hadn't seen anyone. By mid-afternoon, he had made it to his favorite patch of sunlight. and wiggled his roots back into the dirt for a quick nap. Bruce awoke to the sound of stomping. Boom, boom, boom.
I still haven't found the perfect tree,
said a man's voice. Bruce couldn't believe it. There really was a human this deep in the forest. What was he doing? Bruce wondered.
Wow, would you look at that one?
The man exclaimed. He walked towards Bruce. He had a big, bushy beard, a red plaid shirt, and suspenders. He was also holding an axe, ready to chop down trees. Bruce gulped as the man approached him.
Wow, this tree is perfect. It's so tall and strong. I could make so many things out of this wood.
The man got ready to chop down Bruce's trunk. Before he could take his first swing, Bruce pulled up his roots and began to run. The man froze in shock for a moment.
Wait, come back here.
He began running after Bruce. The birds saw the man chasing Bruce first and started tweeting loudly. Bruce needs our help. They flew after the man, diving at him and even dropping some stinky presents on his head. The man waved them off and kept chasing Bruce. Bruce ran through the field where the deer were. The deer chased after the man that was chasing Bruce, but he still didn't stop. Bruce ran towards the stream. The bear family had not gotten far from where they were this morning and saw Bruce run past them. Then they saw the lumberjack chasing him. We've got to save Bruce! Let's go! Called out Baby Bear. He began chasing after the man, with Mama Bear and Papa Bear chasing after him. When Bruce got to the river, he had to slow down to climb into the water. The lumberjack caught up to him just as he was stepping his second long root foot in. He grabbed Bruce's branches, but then he froze. A loud growl sounded behind him. Nice little bear, the lumberjack said, putting his hands up. He was nervous, but still standing next to the river where Bruce was. Then two louder growls came from just behind Baby Bear. Mama Bear and Papa Bear stood up on their hind legs, growling even louder. Now the man was really nervous. The bears prowled closer to him, and the birds came back, swarming above the lumberjack. He started to back away from Bruce, and they followed. He picked up speed, and so did the forest animals, until the lumberjack was running and the animals were chasing him at full speed. They chased the lumberjack until he was out of the forest. When the animals came back, everyone cheered. Bruce thanked all of his friends for saving him, and no lumberjacks dared to ever enter the deep forest again. The end. Great job. You listened all the way to the end, and you know what time it is. It's time for some kid shout-outs. I want to say hey to Theo from New Hampshire, Louis from Taiwan, Heath from Tennessee, Isabella from Maryland, and Selah from Victoria, BC. I'm so glad that you're all on the Kid Short Stories family. We could not have this much fun with imagination without you, my friends. Well, you have a super duper day, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Bye!